Can I be heard? Y'all tell me if I can be heard. Can y'all hear me? Hit up that chat real quick. Let me know you can hear me. Give me a thumbs up. Give me something. Something, anything. Share, like. Yeah, how you doing? Yeah, I be seeing you on my Facebook. Just checking everything out, showing nothing but love and support. I appreciate you, Charles. And I got a few more ladies that's gonna be joining. Thank you for confirming you can hear me. I got some ladies that's gonna be joining us tonight. So if y'all fellas, man, y'all share the room, like the video. Hey, what's up, VA? Y'all share the room, like the video. If y'all fellas got any questions, y'all ever want to pick the woman's mind, you ever feel like, why do women do this? Why do women think like this? Why do women say this? That's what we here for. So we got a couple of women that's going to come on tonight just to give you guys a quick update. Again, like and share, y'all. Come on now. I need y'all support. I can't do it without you guys. I can't do it without you. You see right here, Charles, he be looking out. He's always on my Facebook page for Let's Talk Podcast. So just go on Facebook, put in Let's Talk Podcast, and it's gonna pop up. You're gonna see the logo behind me. You can't miss it. It's a loud purple. I don't know how you're gonna miss it. But yeah, you guys check it out. He always shows support. He's always sharing. He's always liking. He's always keeping up to date with everything. So man, I just appreciate you. I appreciate all your support. I see you, and I appreciate it. And I can't wait to have you on the show because you be spitting some facts. So I can't wait for you to come on the show and share some of that knowledge with the people. With that being said, let me check because I got a few people coming in, and then we'll get this thing started. With that being said, make sure you guys like and share, like and share. I don't know how many times I'm gonna have to say that. Like and share, people. Like and share, please. That being said, I want you guys to. Oh, here we go. We got one in. It said they will need to connect their mic and camera before you can add them in. Okay, there she go.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, what's up,
Okay.
girl?
Nothing much. I'm gonna stay off the camera today because I look a mess and I'm doing laundry.
That's okay, girl. I do too. I just threw a shirt on and pulled
I
my hair
appreciate that.
back
How you
and
doing
put some.
today?
I did put a little lip gloss on. That's
Oh,
about
that's
it.
right.
I'm good. I'm good. Yeah, I just had a spur of the moment feeling. I was like, man, the conversation yesterday was really good. Not that I'm here for that personally, but I did feel a lot of females had a lot of different things to say from yesterday's chat, which made me feel like, maybe we as women need to try to come together and try and talk about it and see each other's perspective and try to hash a few things out. So I got you and I got another few ladies coming. And I told the brothers out there, we got BA out there. What's up, BA? I told them if they had any questions on like why we think the way we think, why we act the way we act, why we do the things we do, because sometimes women can be foreign to men as they can be foreign to us, right?
Very much so.
It's
I fully agree.
exactly. So here we go. We got Vanisha in the building. Say hi, girl, to the people. Can you hear? Oh, your mic is off. You gotta turn your mic off. You gotta turn your mic on. Let me do it. I won't let me. You gotta turn your mic on, Vanisha. I don't think she can hear. Let me text her. You got to unmute your mic so we can hear you. Let me text her now. Unmute your mic. Unmute your mic. We can't hear you. Oh well, okay. So we got one more coming in. Hopefully she'll get it together. We got Yeshua always. He's saying what's up to us, Reese.
Hey there.
Yeah, say what's up. Venetia,
Glad.
we can't hear you. Look what BA said about us. Look what BA said about us, Reese.
Well, let me see.
We can't hear you, girl. Hold on, you guys. Let's try to get it together.
My bad. He said we just wired different. Now I can't hear y'all. Can y'all hear me?
No, I can hear you, Reese. I'm trying to get Venetia going. She said on her phone is giving her trouble.
Oh,
So
okay,
I'm
I
trying to
got
get.
you.
We got one more lady coming in. We got a brother here. This brother right
Okay.
here, Charles Reese. He man, he's always on the Facebook page. Every video, everything I post up, he always has some really good information to share. I'm trying to get him on the show,
Mhm.
girl,
Okay, well, come on then,
because
Charles.
because he always supporting. He always got a lot of good things to say. He
That's
always has a
beautiful.
great perspective, and I enjoy it. And he's just silent with it too. It's not like he's out and open, like look at me. He's real humble with it. So
Mhm. That's beautiful, especially growing up with eight sisters. You know, he got us down to a science. You know, he understand. I bet you his favorite thing to say is okay. I bet you he got that down. Okay, whatever.
yeah, I can't wait to have him on the show. So I'm bringing you on. You don't got no choice, okay? You coming on the show. If you ain't got to come today if you don't want to, but you coming eventually. Just know that,
Okay,
okay? All right. Make sure you
I know
guys
that's right.
like and share. So we just gonna wait on one more person. So you guys who's out there right now, man, if y'all have any questions out there, you want to ask us, get it out there. Remember, it's a woman's perspective. We're gonna be sharing our outlook on why we do and say the things that we do. Why
Hmm.
we look at things a certain way, why we react to things a certain way, why we
Yeah, because
operate.
you know one thing I must say about that is, you know, we're not all crazy, and I think that's one thing that brothers kind of have just they feel like they have accepted that about sisters. But I think one of the best things a man can do is ask themselves why would y'all think all of us are crazy? It got to be something that's
Yeah,
going on. We're not all crazy now.
yeah, but it's got to be like a two-sided thing. It's kind of like what you said the other
Hmm.
day. Remember a few weeks ago when we did the podcast on the women that are basically half naked and just doing their thing?
Hmm.
You said they're doing it because they're getting results.
Yeah,
So
for
these
real.
men that are thinking women are crazy, either they're just going to crazy women um events where all the crazy women are hanging out,
Yep.
or we're doing something that makes them think we crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the only two things that I can think of. Either we're doing something to make them think we crazy, or
Hmm.
they're
We're gonna
going
break it
to
down.
the crazy women events.
We're
Yeah,
gonna break it down for them today. We're gonna
yeah,
make sure we all leave here with hearts and minds clear after today. Ain't no more misunderstanding.
exactly, exactly. And that's the goal and what I want to do. So with that being said, while we're waiting for the other two to come, let's get right into it. So Reese,
Hmm.
what would you say? Matter of fact, before I even ask you, I got Charles, and I think BA is still out there. If you are Charles and BA, what would be your number one complaint about women that you see today?
Um, well, as
Y'all
a female,
listen. Yes,
yeah,
yes.
as a woman, I'm going to say that I can agree when a man says a woman might be overly emotional in some of how she processes her responses to things that are happening in her life, and not necessarily giving enough using enough accountability, self accountability, in how things are happening in her own life. And so I'm going to, throughout this conversation, use the contrast in my life from before I became a mature adult versus now that I am a mature adult. Because I look at that version of myself as completely different than this version of myself. So I will refer to the previous version of me as, you know, that girl
Mm-hmm.
who I'm talking about. I was her at some point in my life, but now that I've evolved, I consider myself to be elevated from that position. So now I can speak from a place of evolution and growth and maturity. Now that I see where my error was and identifying with that group of people, so or that group of women. So before I became the woman I am now, I saw more external causes to my problems, things that were that the world was causing me to experience versus me understanding
Mm-hmm.
and really accepting that my position in the world was causing me to experience the world the way I was. And believe it or not, some of the most key revelations that I've had in my life that have turned my life around into going more towards who I really truly am and being successful as a woman came from the guidance of a man. Ironically, I have never had a male father figure in my life consistently, but the men who do come into my life who mean well for me, even if they hurt me, because this has happened to me before, where a man in my life has been very much a positive influence, even though he has hurt my feelings a time or two. And so, what I've noticed is that the guidance of a man has done me well. And I'll give an example. When I had a friend of mine who knew he's known me since high school, had a very close relationship, all the way up till now. We're still very close friends. But he told me one time that the world I was living in was because of my own perception. And I had no idea how serious it was until he made it very clear to me. I was complaining quite a bit about how the world is just this terrible, dark place. People are always mean and angry. People are always trying out to get you. The government is milking me for all I'm worth. It's hard to get by, all these complaints about life. And he said, Sharice, you see the world that way because that's how you see it. And he said, the world that I live in, he's a business consultant since he graduated college. And he said, the world that I live in, people are very creative. People are very open and willing to share about what they do for a living. We all come together to collaborate on our work projects. We all are very kind to each other because we're in a business setting. And most of the time, I'm having a great time. They invite me out to lunch and we sit and we have great conversations over food and we break bread, all this stuff that he was telling me about his life experience. And it blew my mind wide open because I realized I'm hanging around too many people. This is my decision. Hanging around too many people that ain't about nothing. The
Yeah.
people that I'm hanging around, they don't have the type of goals and ambitions and the type of things that I would like to see for myself. I'm hanging around my high school girlfriends that haven't really done much with life, or I'm hanging around people that don't have the same business goals or ambitions that I have. Some people that just are perfectly fine with working a 9 to 5 and don't really have any business goals for themselves. But I consider myself to be an entrepreneur. Those are the goals that I have for my life. And so I was around a bunch of people that did not align with that. And that's
But
why I was
I want to
looking at
point
the
something out
world
real quick.
negatively.
I want to point something real quick, not to cut you off. Do
Go
you
ahead.
think that women tend to, because I think that we do this, I might be wrong, but I think that you see how you said that it's people around you
Mhm.
that don't align with what you want to do. Do you believe that women align themselves with people that aren't in agreement with what they want to do, and then they perceive that the whole world is that way, when in
Yep.
reality that's not what's actually happening?
It happens all the time. It happens all the time. That's exactly
Exactly, because I
my
hear
what
women
my
say that.
experience was. Yep.
I hear that all
Yep.
the time. I hear ladies say men ain't nothing but dogs, men are this, men are that. But are you sure it's just not the men you talking to that are dogs? With that being said, I want to let some of the other ladies on the stage talk. So we got Curry, Avanisha. You guys, it's an open mic. So, if you want to say something, get on in here. We're just basically, the question that was asked on the floor was, what would you say it is that, what would you think that men would have? What do you think the number one complaint men would have when it comes to women? And explain it. So, Avanisha, you want to go? Curry, you want to go? You guys can go.
Um, can you hear me? Can you guys hear me right now?
Yeah, introduce yourself too, so the
Oh,
people
okay.
can. Yeah.
So I'm Avenesia. I go by Empress Yuri. But the number one complaint, that I get when I do speak to the guys in my family is really could be lack of support in what they're trying to do. They have a vision or a set goal, and then they may have a partner who is not up for the challenge. They don't have the same type of vision.
Hold on. Say that again. You believe that a man's number one complaint with women is, say it again.
They don't they want the women to do certain things to help them with their vision or how they perceive, life to be. And
Hmm.
if that person doesn't meet their quality of living as far as what they can do to benefit them in a way. And I don't know if I'm making sense, but
No,
I'm
no, no.
Hmm.
I'm
trying to
getting
You
it
are.
now. No, no, I
but
understand now. You're basically saying that the women ain't getting with the program.
right,
They not
right.
getting with
Like
the
Mhm.
they like
program.
yeah, because a lot of women do have their own thing going.
Yeah.
So it's very difficult to, I guess, have your own thing going and then also support the man in all of his endeavors and what he wants to do. So I think if you meet someone who is in the same field as you as far as what they're doing, you know what I mean, it would make things a little bit easier.
Okay. All right. I respect that. What about you, Venetia? You want to undo your mic? I think your mic is still muted. You want to undo your mic, and what we're asking is, what do you think your number one? What do you think men's number one complaint would be about women? Like if men were here right now, you're still muted though. If men could be here right now, they could say, "This is what I can't stand about women." What do you think it would be? They would say, and you're still muted, by the way. We can't hear you.
Oh, wait.
You're still
Hey, Tina
muted.
Tink has just entered.
Hey, girl.
Hey.
I'm trying to get Venetia to respond. Okay, she's good. So after Venetia, then you can get in there, Tina Tink, and then
Okay.
you can answer the question on the floor. What would you think men would complain about, and what would be your response to that complaint? So Venetia, you go. What would if a man could
Wait,
be
can
here
you hear me?
now? We can hear you. What would be
Okay,
your
go ahead with the
what you
question.
think
Okay.
they what do you think a man's number one complaint for a woman would be? And what would your response be to that complaint?
The number one complaint of a man's. Wait, say it one more time.
If a man was able to say what his number one complaint was about women, what do you think that complaint would be? And what would your response be to that complaint?
I think the complaint will be her attitude.
Ah. Expound on that a little more. What you mean about her attitude? And what would your response be to that?
If a man complained about my attitude, I would just tell him, I don't even know. To be honest, I have to really be in a position to like speak off of that, like to really feel it. But I feel like that's what it is because most men they look at women and they go based off their attitude. So I think the number one complaint would be a woman's reaction, pretty much like I said, like the attitude and whatever. What you think, Christina? Tina Tink.
Where's Tina Tink? I don't see her. She left.
She left.
Where's she at, Tina Tink? Where you went? Well, what do you think of that, Reese? What do you think about men complaining? And Venetia, when you're not talking, mute your mic because of the dog.
I'm so
And
sorry.
then no, it's okay. Just when you talk, have it on, and then when you're not talking, mute it. That's what we're all doing to keep the sound good. But it's okay when you're ready to talk, just unmute it. What do you think about what she said? Men will complain about women's attitude.
I fully agree. I think attitude is also a part of the problem. I know. Let me tell you about the top complaints. I think I hear a lot of this. Men do complain about women bringing something to the table. They feel like, okay, yes, you need to support my goals. What do I have you here for? They do complain about attitudes because that's when they start making that argument about moving over to other races of women because they don't have to deal with black women's attitudes, quote unquote, black women. Um, I
We
hear
going
men.
somewhere.
Yeah, I hear them talking about
They call them
women have
passport boys. They call them
the
passport boys.
yeah, the passport bros. I
You
was
ever heard of
looking
that,
at
Venetia? You ever heard of passport bros? Have you ever heard of that? Well, passport bros,
No.
they're basically men out there, mostly black men out there, saying that they sick and tired of dealing with black women attitude and their unsubmissive ways, so they're gonna go somewhere else of another race and go get them a wife.
but let me tell you what happened. I was looking at the dude today who was one of the big passport bros, made it pop, the one who made it popular. They kicking him, they running him up out of Brazil because he did a video inviting brothers to come to Brazil because he was asking this woman, "Would you go home with me on the first night? Would you kiss me on the first night?" And the girl was like, "Yeah, yeah, I sure would." She asked her yes to all his questions. So when he finished questioning her, he was like, "See that, brothers? Get your passport, come on to Brazil." And they started like going viral with death threats to this brother because they was like, listen, our Brazilian women are not here for sex tourism. Don't be telling them
Ooh.
niggas to come down here
Hold
to
on. So you
have sex
mean
with
whoa,
our
whoa,
women.
whoa, 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 whoa? Are you
Hmm.
saying that those men are going there to look for a wife, but they're going there to try to get their bong chicka bong bong on?
Absolutely. I'm not my uncles. I have uncles that'll tell you straight up. that they go to Brazil so that they can get it on with them women.
I thought they
And
was
they'll
going
tell
there
you
to
that.
look for a wife.
Nah, heck no, 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 no. They're going down there to get right and come back. And so I think that's the reason why they starting to have an issue with it, because people who are respectable in Brazil, they're like, hold on, wait a minute, that's not what this country is for. You're not coming here for our women for no sex tourism. And it's not just in Brazil either. Brothers are going to the Philippines. They go into different countries to have sex with women, kind of like how these Caucasian men do. You know, they have Caucasian men that go to Africa to find women to have sex with, but what they doing is they trying to find the women are easy like that, they say, because they like, okay, well, if I get one of these men to marry me, I can come to America and live the American dream. So yeah, sometimes they come here to find a wife, but a lot of times that stuff don't be real. They come and they both of them are on a mission. One of them is trying to have sex and the other one is trying to get a visa.
Mm.
And so but I heard that one of the passport bros said that he's been getting death threats because he said that they was, when he did his video, they were like, "Nah, brother, that's not what you about to do over here. Our women ain't for that. You gotta take that somewhere else."
So
Take
what
it
do you
somewhere else.
think? What do you think about that, Empress, about men? Because I always had this. So I do. Okay, I'm not gonna be ignorant and say that I don't believe that men was going over there getting they tickles on, because a lot of them countries aren't as strict, or some of them are even legal to have, hired help, if you know what I mean. And by the way,
Mhm.
some of you guys make avatars. If you don't have your camera on, put a picture or something. That way it looks good on the screen. Like you see how Reese is. So if you can't be on camera like Venetia and me, then just put up a avatar, a
Wait,
picture. That way it looks a little bit more professional.
I tried to put a picture, but I don't know how. How do I do that?
How did you
It'll
do yours,
actually,
Reese?
it'll actually, if you want to change your avatar, so when you look at your profile on there, it'll say edit avatar. You can click the plus button, and it's gonna take you to whatever device you have. It'll take you to your library, so you can pick a photo.
Oh, I see. I see. I
Yeah,
see.
so Curry and Empress, do that for me. Put an avatar that way it could look a little nicer. But yeah, I'm not gonna be ignorant and say that I don't know that men don't go to other countries to get do their thing. But I honestly did believe that when I look when I look at a lot of these videos and these TikToks and stuff, the ones that I see at least, it seems like the men are trying to promote that. Listen, if these women are not going to get with the program, don't try to force nobody. Go somewhere else and get what you need. That's at least what I got from it. But you bringing a different perspective to the table. So, what do you think about that, Empress? Do you think that these brothers are just going over there to get they tickles on?
I do. I actually heard about this when I was in high school. That's been happening for a
Mhm.
very, very long time.
Yes.
Even even back when Eddie Murphy did a stand up, and it was a long, like a old stand up that he did like long time ago. And I remember watching the stand up and him talking about how he was going to go to Africa. So, you know what I mean? And get him a girl from over there, you know, in the part in the,
Mm.
in poverty from Africa, because she'll be more submissive. He made it literally a joke out of that. You know what I mean? Saying that even if he brought her back to America, it's just a matter of time before she'll run into some American women and and change her attitude. So it's been talked about for a long time, even to where there was I can't remember everything, but there was something pertaining to an AIDS pandemic because of that over there in Brazil.
Mhm.
And that I heard about that years ago. So,
That's
and
right.
then that's
Get them
that's
out. That's right where
yeah,
they come out.
yeah.
Okay, so one thing that my thing is, I'm not gonna say, "Oh, thank you, Curry. That looked nice. I like what I'm saying." Okay, now we just got to get Empress up and we good to go.
I, I
Um,
I think my photos are too big or something. They won't let me
nah,
do
you
it.
good. So my thing is, let me click this comment real quick. Okay, so what the brother put up first was this question. You guys can see it, that both men and women have the choice to live life either in the trauma/drama lane or the healing lane. And then this is his second response, which is it is harder for women to move to the healing lane because they are the keepers of the tribe.
That's
So
true.
you think so?
Yeah.
Expound on that. Why you feel like that's so true? I agree with you. Because I know when I go through stuff, I used to travel into my next relationship. And I
Yeah.
told myself I wouldn't. Matter of fact, I used to get into a relationship just to get over that relationship and then just have the same stuff from the other relationship into that relationship. I don't know if y'all did that, but I used to do that.
I did that too. And not
Mhm.
realizing I was doing it.
What happened?
I said I did that too, not even realize I was doing it because I got so comfortable with the way I am when I'm with, when I'm in a relationship with a guy. Like I feel like, even though I was hurt in my previous relationship, it stuck to me and I just became like, how can I say? Um like I just became like numb to certain stuff. So my behavior would carry on to another relationship, not even knowing I was doing it. And so I realized like I really had to look at myself and say, dang, I mean, I keep going through these men or I keep going through these relationships and not understanding why is it me that keep causing not knowing that it was me that was causing all this distress and stuff because of like I said, I think it's the attitude because my attitude sometimes it can get out of line too. So I would say my attitude is my
Mm.
biggest fear when it comes to relationships because, like I said, I wouldn't even know that I was even bringing something from my past into my new relationship because I was just so numb to how I was acting and just, you know,
Well,
not even
thank you for
realizing it was
sharing. Thank
me.
you for sharing that. I think all of us, at least me, I know I've experienced that. And I didn't realize it either. When I started realizing it was when I started having all them failed relationships. That's what made me
Yeah.
realize, like, what the heck? I'm the common
What am I keep
denominator.
doing?
Mm.
Am I
Exactly.
going to the failed relationship conference? Like,
Yeah.
where am I meeting these people at? And they were different
And they was
ages,
yeah, there
different
was different type of guys.
backgrounds.
It's different, not
Yeah.
even the
So it didn't
same
make
type.
no sense.
And I like quiet guys, so you wouldn't even think that quiet guys. I would keep running to the same type of quiet guys, and it just feel like they the problem. No, it wasn't.
It's, it's not.
Yeah.
Thank you for being honest. See, it is women out there that can be honest about some of their shortcomings, and I think that's the part of healing. Like the man said, it's harder for women. I think that's part of it. We're just, I don't know, man. At least for me, it was tough, and I used to try to mask it, like you said. You call it numbing. I used to just try to cover it up, act like it wasn't there. And then eventually it'll just bust wide open into the new relationship, and then it's just a whole hot mess of a situation. But but yeah. So yeah, I like where the conversation is going. Empress, you want to add anything to that conversation and then we can move on to something else?
No, I think everyone pretty much covered it besides the whole attitude thing. They say a lot of us are masculine.
But why do you think that is though? Why do you think that sisters get a rap for being so are our sisters more masculine? Why do you think this is and what can we do about it?
Because we take so much stuff. Like it's a lot of stuff that we have to entertain, like to take. Like not even with relationships, just in general. Like it's a lot.
I I mean,
Mm.
I think having to work and provide, you know, because many of us come from a broken home, so we looked at our parents having to do things on their own and struggle, and we don't necessarily want to struggle, so we try to work as hard as we can to kind of get out of that lifestyle. You know what I mean?
But I heard
All
a
the time.
man say a response to that, not to cut you off. I was watching a TikTok, and this is what the man said. The man said that I don't want to be with a woman that got issues and that's broken and that's dealing with crap that because she had a hard life. I don't want to deal with that. And the woman got offended and she was like, "Excuse me?" And then he said to her, "Would you want to be with a man that's broken, that's poor, that's still trying to figure it out, that's struggling? You don't want that, right? You wouldn't waste your time for that. So why should I have to waste my time on a sister that's broken and this and this and
Well,
that
I'm
and
not.
third?" So
I'm
what's
not
your
talking.
response to that?
I'm not talking about broken as far as like emotional. I'm talking about broken as far as pockets. Like you trying to make sure you don't end up like that. You know what I mean? As far as being in poverty, waiting on being with someone, you still have to take care of yourself and be self-sufficient to a certain degree, you know? So I think that we all kind of just work hard, so because it's imperative. You gotta eat. You can't really wait on no one to feed you, you know, or else you a bum chick then.
Okay, but
So it's
remember,
like a lose
this is
lose.
exact. But this is what we're going to. We have an attitude because we come from broken families and we had a hard life, and we're still out here struggling, trying to do what we can to keep our head over water. So now when men run into us and we have this attitude and this wall up, men are saying, I don't care about that. You got to get it together. You grown, I'm grown. I had to get it together. You need to get it together. That's not my problem. What would your response be to? Because that's what men are saying. And they're saying this because we say that to them. I don't know about you guys, but I know I said it to him. I never wanted a man that didn't have a job, that wasn't paying no bills, that had no ambition, that wasn't trying to hustle and trying to, like, take. I never wanted a man like that, and I didn't want to hear that your daddy wasn't in your life, that
Yeah,
you never
same.
was loved by your
Because that's an
mama.
excuse. I feel like that's an excuse.
Excuse, but they're saying we're doing the same thing though. They're
I
saying
mean,
that with our making this, we're saying we have attitudes because we come from broken home and we're struggling and we have to do it on our own. And they're saying, I don't want to hear your excuses, just like we tell them. So what would your response be to them? Do you think we're making excuses up, or do you feel that they're just trying to do tit for tat?
I do think in a way it's a little tit for tat because people who usually do have problems don't even know they have problems until someone points it out to them that they have a problem. You know what I mean? Like I never thought that, some of the things that went on in my home, I didn't never think that that would actually break me. But as a defense mechanism, when someone had to point that out to me, that hey, you're very defensive. You know what I mean? Like your guard is up. And I took a step back and to think about, why am I guarded? Like, why? And I had to think about, the things that occurred and the things that I've seen to make me in my head think like, oh, I have to do things all on my own.
But
There's
that, but
some, but
I'm gonna
I
be
didn't notice. I didn't know until somebody pointed it out. But now that someone pointed out to me, now I'm aware and
mhm.
I can make the necessary adjustments to, my responses and things of that nature. You know, I can
but
make the responses, but if no one ever tells you like, hey, like,
but it's still there though. Whether or not it's kind of like, and I'm not trying to play devil advocate or say, oh, men are right. I'm not saying that at all. But it's kind of like if you get pulled over for making a wrong turn, you can't tell the officer, I didn't know that was a wrong turn. He doesn't care. You still made the wrong turn. So even if you're unaware that you are dealing with stuff and that you're broken, you're still broken. You can be unaware or not. The fact that the man is saying, I don't want a woman that has these issues, and mute your mic, Venetia, remember, and unless you're talking, 'cause for the noise in the background, and then come back in. You heard me, Venetia? Perfect, thank you. Yeah. So what I'm trying to say is that, and I don't know, Reese, you understand what I'm trying? I don't know if I'm coming off wrong. Like I'm trying to say, like
I
men
mean,
are. You understand what I'm saying? Empress,
I
it's like I feel like, and I'm only saying this because I do feel like we get certain, even though it is hard for women, especially sisters, it is. I'm not saying it isn't. We still get more we still get more lenience from a lot of things, from the system, from men, believe it or not, from our work, from a lot of places. We still get more lenient than the brothers get. The brothers don't get no break at all. And it seems like there's a switch going on where men are like, I don't care no more. Either you come right or you don't come at all. And I think women are like, well, I'm like this because it is. And they're like, we don't want to hear it. Just like you don't want to hear our problems, we don't want to hear your problem, just get fixed. You understand what I'm trying to say?
um yeah, I understand you loud and clear. We there has to be just a level of accountability
Hmm.
um for both parties.
Yeah.
You know, both women and men to say, I'm grown now. There's some things that I need to work on and work on that
Hmm.
before you actually start to date.
Trying to be with somebody.
Yeah, even if you got to go to therapy about it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even if you got to go to therapy and just spend some time alone, because a
That's what
lot
he
of
put. You see the comment right there? He said the paradox of the human condition is that we are only ready to be in a relationship when we are ready to be alone. That is so true. When you're actually happy with yourself and comfortable with yourself and really don't work on some stuff with yourself, you are ready to be in a relationship, which it seems like that wouldn't make sense because how is being alone preparing you to be with someone? It sounds like it's a paradox, but that is truly how it works, which is what you were just saying.
yeah, spending some time by yourself, taking care of yourself, self-care, you know what I mean? It's it's truly a blessing. It's truly a blessing. Mentally, physically, spiritually, whatever you have to do to kind of get yourself together. I would say, just lay off dating for 6 months to a year at minimum, and kind of just reflect. Use it as an opportunity to just reflect on the type of woman that you really are, you know, the type of woman you are, and just put your goals together to aspire to be what you can be before you jump into a relationship.
I agree with that. Curry, you haven't really been saying much. You want to add anything to the conversation? And then I want to bring something up. It's a sensitive topic, but I gotta bring it up because a lot of brothers talk about it, and I want them to get opportunity to hear our perspective from a woman's standpoint on the issues that they find, the issues that they have with us are the things that they say. I want them to have an opportunity to understand from our perspective why things are the way they are. So Curry, I don't know if you want to unmute your mic, if you want to say anything. If not, you can hang out. That's all good. You wanna say something? You want to add something to the conversation?
I mean, it's been years since I dated. It's been like 5 years. I haven't dated a guy in so long. I come from the world of lesbianism, but I do have a lot of brothers. I haven't dated a guy in so long. I haven't really had feelings for a guy in so long. But my brothers, I have six brothers. So I do counsel one of my brothers a lot because he does have these discussions with me. He feel like his partner doesn't understand and she doesn't support him, and he feels like she should be more supportive. He grew up without a mom, and he is a very nice guy, he says to her, and she doesn't know what she has. So I mean, I can't
Mm.
really relate to his conversations because I'm not haven't been in that realm of heterosexual relationships as much. But what I could say from a woman's standpoint is just that, I mean, if I was dating a guy that was nice to me and helped me with my son, I would, I guess, support him the best way that I could and not just, you know, um, like everything that he does make him feel like he's still in the wrong, like as if like he's the bad guy. Because guys, I see my brothers, guys do go through a lot in society, and then to come home to have to deal with the madness of a quarrelsome woman is also, it's not really good, because it's like, man, where's my peace? And then that's where cheating comes in, and he feels like he has to get his peace somewhere else.
Mm.
I want to bring Tiny. Thank you for sharing that, but I want to bring Tiny up real quick because we lost her. Tina, we
Tina,
lost
I'm
you.
here. I
So
know,
yes,
because I was around my boyfriend, and I really didn't want to go through that because I feel like when I share my experiences, you know,
you in the matrix. You in the matrix. We can't hear you, girl.
uh,
You in the matrix.
While she getting her phone together, can I ask a question?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so our sister said that she's doing lesbian relationships. And I wanted to ask, do you have the same complaints about women that you hear men making?
Oh yeah, that's a good question, Tyler. When you were dabbling in that lifestyle, did you find yourself having the same complaints as your brother was having with you?
No, not at all. That's a different lifestyle. No.
But I'm just saying,
Mm.
if black women got
Hello.
a problem, it should be a problem with lesbian black women and straight black women. If it's a black woman problem, you know what I mean?
I didn't
I
think of
think
that.
women understand each other on an emotional level, but I mean, when it comes to a guy like my brother, he doesn't feel like he has to like he pampers his girl, but he's like, if you want to pout about like your day or like like how you feeling, you should pout with your homegirls. Like he's like, man, because I don't want to. He don't want to be that guy. I don't know. And I'm
Also,
like,
saying
but
that
I'm telling him, I'm like, you supposed to be there for her emotionally. But he's like, but I'm not gonna baby you. Like we're grown ups. So I don't know what you guys think about that. I think that's a little too harsh for.
Well, you
no,
I don't.
pointed. I like what she said. You pointed something out to me when you said, because at first when Reese asked the question, I was like, mic drop when she said, "Wait a minute now, if it's a sister problem,
it's just
shouldn't it be the same?" But then when she said something, Reese, when she said, "I think we understand each other more on an emotional level," it goes back to that because she is a black woman and she's dating a black woman. She can understand why black women may react or do things the way they do, but because the black man is not a black woman and he doesn't understand the way we think, the way we walk, the way we talk, how we process things, how we express our feelings. This
Mhm.
is why we have that disconnect. But I want to just go to Tina real quick. Are you back? Are you back in? Because I don't want to have her just sitting there. I want to give her an opportunity. Are you back, sis?
Yes, can you hear me?
Now we can hear you. Now, what would you want to share? What did you want to say? Share with us?
I was saying hi guys. I'm so sorry that I left. It
Hi.
was because I was around my boyfriend, and every time I start talking to like any type of female, we talk about advice and stuff. He doesn't like that. Like he feels like everybody,
Mm.
like if you go through something, you need to talk to your man about it, not your girls, not your, not
he right.
too much people, which I do understand. But sometimes there's some women who are going through things and they need to hear it. Like I need to hear it sometimes too. Like maybe that's a sign of controlling. You're controlling, and if I don't see it and somebody else see it, they gotta let me know. Period.
Yeah, and in this show too, it's not so much about Venetia. Oh, I don't know if Venetia want to say anything. It's not so much that we're trying to give you advice because I think she's right about, when it comes to getting advice, you want to make sure the advice you're getting is coming from the right place, especially when you go to females. Because I used to have a friend, and I
Mm-hmm.
remember I would tell her something about my husband, and she
Mm-hmm.
would just do the most, girl, the
Oh
most. And I
no.
used to be like, at first, it started getting to me, and I started looking at my husband sideways until I looked at her life, and I said, wait a minute. I was just upset that I came home from work and dinner wasn't ready, but your husband is it's a hot mess and you don't do nothing about it. So how you gonna tell me that I'm supposed to be doing all of this because he ain't have dinner ready one night, but
Correct.
your man ain't even buying dinner? And it made
Correct.
me realize that me listening to these women that are broken, that are bitter, that are
Mm-hmm.
lonely, that are hurt, all they're doing is just bringing toxicity to my relationship. So I had to realize that I can't just be taking advice from anybody. So I think he's giving good advice on that stance, but at the same time, I know what you mean. You still want to have that
Balance.
yeah, with sisters, and that's why we're having this
Correct.
show tonight with the ladies. So what we were asking, and I'm going to give you a chance to speak on that, we were
Mm-hmm.
saying if a man was here now and he
Mm-hmm.
could say what his number one complaint about a woman was, what would you say it is, and what would your response be to that?
If a man was here right now and his number one complaint about a woman, it would be that talking to men, like I have friends, guy friends, I see that they complain about women insecurities, which I feel like that's not their business.
What do you
You're
mean? Whoa,
supposed to
whoa,
make
whoa,
you're
whoa,
supposed
whoa.
to make a
Speak
woman
more
feel
on that. I want to
secure.
hear this. I want to hear this. Say that again.
I Men complain about women being insecure, and we all listen. I don't believe when people say, "Oh, I'm not insecure." We all have something we're insecure about. We're not perfect. Can you guys
Give me
hear
an
me?
example. Give me an example. I need an example of,
I
when
will.
people say insecure, they be meaning different stuff. Like a man
Correct.
could tell a woman, I don't like you wearing that outfit. It's too revealing. You got all the cheeks hanging out. Then my cheeks, I don't want people seeing them. And a woman would say he's insecure. When I don't think that's necessarily insecure, because if she have a man walk up and smack her on them cheeks, she gonna want the man to fight for her honor, which means he should have
Correct.
a say so. If I gotta protect those cheeks, then I should have a right to say what's on those cheeks. I'm just saying. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm tripping. But if I gotta protect those cheeks, no, let's be real. Because if you go out there half naked and a brother sees something he like and he just go take a grab, we gonna expect him to handle it, right? So he
Correct.
should have a say so into whether or not them cheeks are presented a certain way in the public.
Correct.
So I wouldn't call that insecurity, but women would say that's insecurity. So explain to me what you mean by a woman's insecurity and the man saying, having a problem with that. And it's his job that she doesn't feel that way.
Lately I've been dealing with. I have a lot of people who talk to me about their problems. So I've been hearing that, oh, she's doing this for attention. And it's like, no, she's doing this for her happiness. She's doing this for
So give
herself.
me an
She's not
example of something she's doing for her for attention.
attention,
Her
like,
outfit, her
yeah,
lashes, her
a
nails.
out
What is it?
picture, like posting an outfit, just anything that I feel like men complain for everything. Like, you should. I'm talking about for myself, maybe, because I don't
That's what I
know.
want to hear. I want to hear your perspective.
Okay, when I say complaining for everything, meaning like, okay, so I was on the phone with Nisha. Me being happy, me laughing, me just being me affects my partner. Like, and he felt like I'm insecure about, like, I don't know how to explain it.
So let me ask you something. Have you ever asked him? Have you ever went to him and said, "Why every time I'm happy, I'm smiling, I'm having a good time, and you're not a part of it? You seem to have a problem." You ever asked him that?
Of course.
And what did his
And
response was?
the thing is, when you meet somebody and you're always under that person, you're always in their gut. Like, we have that relationship where we're always together, we do everything together. So I don't really do much with others. So now that I'm opening up to do more things with other people, it's a problem. It's like a jealous thing.
What do you think of
So,
that, Reese? You want to tackle
and
that?
I'm not married, by the way. I'm not married, guys.
Hear a lot
Mm.
going on, and what I'm hearing from my sisters, and I think that what we are dealing with is something that the guy I'm dating right now, with plans to be married, he says understanding is the highest form of love. And more the more I build with him and get to understand him as a man, I understand what he's talking about, because if I could put myself in a man's shoes
Mm-hmm.
and see how he sees and why he sees, just like Christina just said, if I have to be the person to protect you, I'm going to tell you how I need to do that. And if I tell you that the way you dress is causing more of a problem for me, you need to understand that. And you need to give me love by not placing me in a position.
Huh?
We got feedback.
Yeah, mute your mic. When you guys aren't talking, mute your mic. That way it's no noise. But when you talk, just talk. You can unmute it. But when you're not talking, mute it. That way we don't have feedback. So yeah, continue what you were saying, Reese, because you were sitting on something a minute ago.
Sure. So, what he was basically saying is that we need to understand that when we are in these positions as women, needing something from our man, we cannot tell you, okay, we can't say, I need you to protect me, and then say, well, I'm not getting ready to dress no kind of way just so you could protect me. Okay, well, then at that point, you don't want me to protect you. If that's how you're going to act, you don't understand. You don't get it. And so it's like,
Yeah.
I need for you to humble yourself. Like, for example, one of the things we're working on in our relationship is building up trust. And so I have a lot of times what I tell him is that I'm going to reflect you in everything you do. It's kind of like what I forgot what show it was on, but the brother said, whatever you do to my daughter, I'm gonna do to you. And
Mhm.
so whenever he engages with me, this is what I tell him: however you treat me, I'm going to reflect it back to you so you can see how I feel, and we could start to understand each other. So when it comes to trust, the other day something happened, and I questioned. I say, what is this about? I need you to talk to me about how this happened, what's going on, blah blah blah. And so he said, I don't want to talk about it. So I didn't get mad. I didn't blow up at him. I didn't do extra. I just was like, you know what? I went downstairs. I went to sleep. I let everything blow over. The next day, I said, after everything we've talked about, I felt very disappointed by how you responded to me last night. You told me you didn't want to talk about it when you realize I'm trying to build trust in you. You got to understand that sometimes I might ask you questions that you don't want to answer. You feel like I'm doing too much or whatever, but we're doing something to build trust here. This is our objective. So if you want me to understand you, you got to be able to give me that same understanding. No, you're not coddling me. No, it's not, this or that. We are in a sensitive place right now. So I think with sisters and with brothers, like our brother was saying, is that we have to understand what it means for us to be alone and be comfortable and confident and have these things on our own. But when we get with somebody, we have to also understand their journey is also developing the same way ours is. You cannot expect perfection. You cannot expect the person to always read your mind. And I think that might be another complaint that brothers have, is that their sisters expect a man to read our mind. And we they like, look, I can't read your mind. You're gonna have to speak. You're gonna have to talk. You're gonna have to come to me and communicate.
Hold on. You said that which way are you saying it? You said you believe that men would complain that
Hmm.
they have to try to read women's mind.
Correct. That they have
Yeah,
to.
I had that issue in my when I started first in relationships, not to cut
Mhm.
you off, but I wanted to point that part out.
Yes.
I remember getting that complaint a lot, that why you want me to read your mind. And what I thought was, I thought that they didn't care. I
Mhm.
thought that if I have already expressed something to you, or I've already showed you my displeasure in it, but you continue to do it, you're saying you have to read my mind, but to me it just seemed like you don't care. So then at that point I feel like I'm not going to keep telling you something, or yeah, I'm not going to tell you something that you should already know. It's not even that keep telling you. It could be something that I feel like I've already I've already told you this multiple times before, or even that, why do I have to tell you this? Why do I have to tell you that I like a compliment when I try something
These
different with
brothers
my
gonna
hair?
be
Why do I
knowing.
have to tell you that?
They gonna be knowing.
They don't be knowing. Yeah, but we take it that way, right? We take it like, and I had to realize that, what am I doing? Like, it's not that he doesn't care about you. It's just that he really just don't be paying attention to that. But I
that's
want to point
that's
something else out to Tina to her real quick. Something that she said. She said that they're always together, they do everything together, right? And now she's starting to kind of branch out a little bit. But my thing is, if it was reverse, sister, if it was reverse and you guys do everything together, and now he's starting to branch out and starting to find that happiness and stuff without you and just having a good time, and he's branching off, how would that have made you feel?
I would be upset and jealous.
automatic.
I would be so jealous. I would literally like make you feel me. I would not say anything to you in the house.
That's back to the read your mind, Reese, what you were saying. That what
Mhm.
you said?
He
You said
know he
read your
would know
mind.
what's going on. That brother wouldn't know the first thing about what's going on. All he knows is that as soon as he walk in the house, he could be attacked by energy.
Correct.
All he know.
Correct.
That's all he know.
I don't
Like
even have to
well,
say anything.
hmm
Exactly. Sorry about that noise if y'all hear it. That's my dryer. But Venetia, you been quiet for a while. You too, Curry. Y'all get up in. And you too, Empress. This is an open mic. I didn't bring y'all on here just to see y'all pretty faces.
How
I brought
often
y'all
is
on
this?
here to hear what y'all got to say. So
I'm sorry, I was taking care of some things in
do
the
you
house.
think that men complain about us making them feel like they like being mind readers? Like, men feel like we want them to be mind readers and they're not mind readers.
Yeah.
She just said, yeah. She didn't even try to stutter it out.
Willie laughing too.
Reese, you heard her? She said, she stopped, she paused for a second, and then she said, yeah. Like, and she had to try to process it. Like,
enough. Y'all get it. Y'all got it. But no, sometimes it is that simple for real. Like sometimes we do have to remember that life is not as complex as we try to make it sometimes. And we laugh at, but that's something that we actually should allow to kind of seek into our souls. I think a brother a lot of times would appreciate a woman to just make it that simple. Yes or no.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like sometimes let us just make it simple because we get into these. I never forget when I read a meme and it said, you know what, sister, stop sending them long ass paragraphs when that man done did you wrong. You're doing too much. Like
Hmm.
you don't,
I
you
do.
don't need
I
all
do.
that.
I do
What
that.
you need to do is make yourself plain. Like I'll never forget the guy I'm dating right now. He was like, Sharice, I love how you punish me just by how you respond. Like he's like, you don't always turn up. Sometimes you do turn up. But he was like, I like how you withhold yourself whenever something is going wrong and you don't like it because we're not about to argue. It's not about to be a bunch of arguing, but what will happen is he'll be texting. I'll never forget one night he was just texting. He was doing the long paragraphs. and I
But that's
wasn't
not
responding.
easy though, Reese. That's not easy what you just said, to hold yourself. Venetia,
Yeah,
you want to speak on that, girl? When you just be so angry, so frustrated.
I let
You
it go,
about to
brother.
strangle that man. Like, you gotta hold yourself. It is easy to say. You may have perfected it, Reese. You may have.
Yeah, I don't let him know. I said, look, I'm not about to argue with you, but I'm gonna tell you what he said. Is he was like, I'm about to stop talking because you ain't responding to nothing I'm saying. The next day is when I decided
Put
to
another
respond.
one in there for you.
And I said, I was like, okay, now we can, because I'm about to let you know what's unacceptable. We ain't about to argue, but I'm gonna let you know I'm not talking to you right now. No, you can't come over my house. No, I'm not cooking you no food, and I'm damn sure not making no plates.
That's
Whoa, wait a minute.
boundaries.
Wait a minute.
You
Hold on, hold
understand
on.
your
Hold
boundaries.
on, hold on, hold on. I got to say something about that. Hold on. Did you just say? I want to make sure I get it because I might be wrong. Did you just say that when you're upset, are y'all having an issue that you're not gonna do what? Did I hear it right? Because I could have heard it wrong.
No, because I mean we don't live together. So when he comes over here, I'm a cooking woman. I like to be in my kitchen. I like to stir up some pots, and I like to make my house smell good with food. And so this man, he like to eat. So he be over here like, what you cooking? All in my pots, lifting up the lid and everything.
Okay.
If I'm not feeling it, baby, listen. When you come in here, it's about to be a cold house. You better sit your ass down and watch this movie. I'm not feeding you.
Now, hold up now. Hold
That's
up
so
now.
Yeah, I do the
funny.
Hold
same
up.
thing. I
Hold
ain't gonna
on.
lie, I
Wait
do
a
the same
minute. I
thing.
got to speak against that. I got to speak
Me
against
What?
that.
too.
I love y'all, but I got something
I'm
to
a
say
I'm
about
a
that.
We're not married, so that ain't my
I
duty. We're
understand.
not
I
It's
married.
listen.
okay
I
though.
understand you're not married, and I hear I got to be. I got to be the devil advocate. So Venetia, Reese, and you right there, Tina. Y'all three. I got y'all in my little box right now. Okay, y'all tell me what y'all think it is. You said
I
we not married, right?
Mhm, mhm.
I heard a man say one time, "Why do you want to marry me?" She says, "Because you embody everything that I want in a husband." So then he says, "Okay, so I embody that before the marriage." He says, "Yes." So what a lot of men complain is that women like to think that when they get married, that's when they have to start embodying the things of a wife. But what women don't
Correct.
understand is men are not going to marry women that are going to embody it once they're married. They want to see that woman embodying it before the marriage. That's what makes them want to marry her. Now, let me get to my point.
Okay.
There are times when my husband pissed me the hell off, girl. But I know that, like you said, he come to your crib, he know you love to cook. He start checking pots. But when you ain't feeling it, you like, I'm not feeling it. And we not married. So hey, I feel like nothing should change because it goes the same way as far as like what I expect from him. If my husband's mad at me, but somebody breaks in the house, I don't expect him to tap on my shoulder and say, I'm mad at you, go protect the house. Hell no. What you mean you mad at me? You better go out there and see what that noise is. He still has to maintain the same position, whether we are upset with each other, whether or not he don't feel
Correct.
like it. Even if he don't
Correct.
want to go to work, he still got to go. Nothing changes for him, regardless of how he
Mhm,
feels about me. But I
mhm.
feel as women, y'all tell me if I'm wrong. I feel as women, we feel that depending on how we feel or what we're going through, and this is going back to the podcast that's coming this Sunday about withholding sex from a man. Should a woman be weaponizing her vagina or does she weaponize it? This goes back to that. Should it be, well, I'm mad at you, I'm not having sex with you, I'm mad at you, I'm not going to cook, or I'm not even mad at you, I'm just emotionally drained, so I'm just not feeling it? Should we be imposing that on a men that we're in actively in a relationship with?
Yes, because if we're not married,
Yes.
not, if we're not married, first of all, he doesn't live here, so I have to make that clear. He don't live with me. So if that were a same scenario where he was over my house, well, I should say there may be a scenario where somebody run up in my house and he can't protect me because he doesn't live with me. So the fact that we're not married changes our dynamic, and the fact that we don't cohabitate changes our dynamic. He's withholding certain parts of his manhood right now because he ain't paying none of my bills. He's not, we're not cohabitating, like I said, so it's certain protections that I can't get from him. So he's not, I don't have 100% access to his manly provisions. And so he's not having 100% access to my womanly provisions. But what I will say that this man has been over my house enough to know that I know how to stir up these pots. So if he's looking for his wifely qualities in me before he marries me, he can see that. He can very much see that beforehand. But what he's gonna have to do is make sure that he buys the cow if he's gonna be getting this milk.
Okay,
And
so
so,
if he buys a cow, this is my question. If he buys the cow, right, and you're not feeling it, You're emotionally drained. You're upset. You're just not feeling it. Do you still give it up? Do you still cook
Oh
that meal?
yeah,
Do you still do it?
yeah, because I've been married. I was married for 7 years, and so I've never been the type of person to say, "Oh, I'm not cooking." And most of the time, the way my husband would work when I was married is he would just buy dinner. He would always say, "Sharice, if you don't feel like cooking, go sit down." He wasn't that kind of man. If I really wasn't feeling it for that day, he'll just go buy some food. He'll take us out to go get China Cafe up the street or whatever we want to eat. And so that was never an issue for me if I just didn't feel like cooking. He understand I'm not a slave, especially because I'm an entrepreneur. So I've always been in my office working while he's at work. I've never been a Susie homemaker at home with my feet up. I'm still kind of moving and shaking in the streets and making sure that my business is building and developing. So he never held me to such a high standard that I had to always be a servant in the home to everybody else but myself. I've
No, no,
never.
no. I don't mean that. No, I don't think the expectation, which is what this brother got up right now, expectations will double your pain in a relationship. I'm not talking about what he expects from you. What I'm saying is if you are going through something, and I understand what you meant now. You're basically saying, look, we're not married. This is why I have this position. So I get that part. But Venetia, I want to ask you that do you feel that it's okay that if you're mad at your man one night or y'all done got into it or whatever, that if you normally come home, I'm not talking about like what he expect from you. This is a normal thing you do. You normally come home, you normally cook, you normally do these type of things. Do you feel that all of that intimacy and cooking a meal is off limits if you piss me off that day?
Yeah.
Okay. And do you think that, okay, so this is my question to you. Do you feel that a man should act the same way as well? When he's upset at you, he shouldn't pay no bill for you. He shouldn't try to protect you. He shouldn't be there for you emotionally if you upset, if you got him upset one day.
Well, in my head, this is how I was to myself to be independent. So regardless of whatever, my mama raised me to be independent. So not to depend on nothing. So at the end of the day, if we was chose not to pay the bill or whatever the case, vice versa, don't cook or do something that I expect him to do that on a normal basis, I'm not gonna sweat it trip because at the end of the day, like, we're not married. Number one. Number two, like, I feel like I don't want to depend on people because I feel like when you depend on a person, they let you down. Like, even if I was married, I wouldn't depend on my husband to do certain stuff because I don't know. I just feel like the way I see my mama grow up and see how she reacted in certain situations, especially relationship wise, and how she became a self-independent woman. Like, I feel like that just gives me so much, to look at the other side. Like, I don't feel like I don't feel like it's mandatory for me to get married anyways. So I wouldn't expect a man to always be there for me or whatever the case may be. Because at the end of the day, when you put all your trust in a man, sometimes they let you down. Like,
Okay.
I don't know, because I done been hurt so much and I look at scenarios different from how other people view things, but that's just my opinion on that. Like, I
No,
wouldn't,
no, I understand. I understand everything you're saying, but there's two things I want to
but
point out.
I wouldn't care.
Okay, see, there's two things I want to point out. What I want to point out is one, as far as the dependence thing go, I cannot, and this no shot at you. Don't take it personal. But when people say I don't want to depend on nobody, I think that's such foolishness. I think that we have been depending on people our entire life. When you came out your mother womb, you depended on your mother to feed you and clothe you and change you. When you went to a job, you depended on that job to be able to send your paycheck to the bank every Friday.
To a
When
certain
you
extent,
get
though,
no,
Chris.
no, that's my point. Same
You getting
thing.
into, but you're getting into small detail. I'm talking about to a certain extent as far as a man in relationship.
Exactly.
That's
Exactly. That's my point. That's my point. If you're gonna
But you can't
be
pinpoint that out when you cannot pinpoint that out when I was brought into the world by my mom, and so I'm gonna look up and expect everything the way
That's
how
not
she
what I'm
was
saying.
raised me.
That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. Let me finish. What
Okay,
I'm
go ahead.
saying is this: what I'm saying. What I'm saying is this idea that we step out in the street and say, I don't depend on nobody when your entire life you have probably been depending on people. But for some reason, we cannot link that up with our husbands. We can do it our entire life. We can do it with our fathers, our mothers. We can do it with our brothers. We can do it with our friends. But when it comes to the man, we don't ever want to say, I'm depending on him. And I think it's because of hurt, because we don't want nobody to let us down. We don't want no one, you're going to look out for me, but then you change your
Yeah,
mind
you
and
have
now I'm
that
F.
fear.
Exactly. I think that's what it is. Hurt. It's damage. It's hurt.
I,
It's pain. And for me personally, I depend on my husband
yeah,
constantly, and he depends on me constantly. And that's what helps us be so strong, because we depend on each other. That's why we are so strong. That's
I
why we are
agree.
so happy.
I agree, but I think that what we have to do is remember we're not. I'm personally, from my perspective, let me speak for myself, and I'm talking about the dynamic of letting it be known what my boundaries are. I think another sister said that when I was talking, that it's about setting boundaries. Your husband knows when he has crossed the line, no matter if you withhold from him or not. Your husband knows when he has crossed the line with you, and how you choose to do that as a woman is really up to your personality and how you have created a bond with your husband. But for me, what I do, because I'm not married and because I'm not obligated and there are no expectations, like this brother said, is that's how I've created my boundaries. If I tell you that, now, one thing I do believe in strongly is that if me and you are not in agreement right now, you cannot touch me. We have to come together and talk.
Yeah, I agree with
We have,
that.
we have to come together and understand each other and clear the negative energy between us before you can.
Yeah, clear the elephant in the room. Yeah,
Yeah, you can't lay your hands on me, but we're not on good terms right now. No,
exactly. I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna look at you crazy upside
I
down,
agree.
and I'm gonna leave the house.
yeah.
I
Go in my
just
own house for
left.
real.
I just
And I don't
left.
even want you try to touch on me when I'm sleeping.
Yeah,
Don't even
it's not
touch me when I'm
about.
sleeping.
And I think our men have to understand that, because a lot of them are not equipped with
But
enough
I feel like it's double step.
intelligence.
But I feel like it's confusing though, Reese. It's
Oh,
confusing
okay, so
because
let me say this, because wait a minute.
it's
It,
confusing because we doing everything like we together, but then you said we
no,
not together. So then
no,
let's not
no,
just be together.
it's not about that. It's not about what type of dynamic we created when we have our sex, or we're cooking for each other, or you're paying my bills, whatever the case. What I'm saying is that it takes emotional intelligence. It takes communication skills. It takes for a man to know what type of woman he's dealing with. And so, yes, if they are confused, if they're confused, it's because they're not paying attention. You got to know your woman. You gotta
Exactly.
know,
It,
if she's in the type of woman where she don't mind having sex with you before y'all get married, you gotta know that about her. If she don't mind cooking and making your plate before y'all get married, you gotta know that about her. But if you really like this woman, and you're really into her, and she's the kind of woman where she doesn't do that, and she's not into it, that's your woman. There are
But see,
plenty of
that's where
women
we're
on
getting confused, Reese. This is where we're mixing each other up. I'm not saying that either you're this or you're that. What I'm saying is you are everything he wants. But when you're upset, you're not. That's what I'm trying to say. You're married.
that's what
Let's set the record straight. You're a married woman. You have a husband. You normally cook. You normally give it up. But when you are upset, or you feel like he did something you don't like, or whatever, you decide to pull rank and say, I'm not giving it up. I'm not cooking nothing for you. Oh well, that's the scenario I need y'all to focus on. Because what
But
I'm
it's
hearing
weird
is,
though, Chris. Think about it.
that's what I'm saying.
If you're not happy with your if you're not happy with your
but we
man.
expect it from men though. We
But I'm
expect
saying if
men.
you're not happy with him and stuff is not right, you're not even gonna enjoy
But
the
we
sex.
expect it from men
You're gonna be
though. But we
miserable. Like, oh
expect.
my
But
Exactly.
we
God, maybe
expect it from
No,
men.
no,
and that's what's
Christina,
gonna
no,
happen.
wait a minute.
We
Right.
do. We expect men to
You're
No,
not
control. Let
even
me tell
gonna
you something. A
enjoy
man
it.
could be depressed. He could be
Man.
depressed. He could be having nightmares at night. He could be going through some crap. I mean, it's some men that go through stuff, but he still got to get up every single day and provide for his family. He cannot say,
do
I
anything
got a
to have
bad
sex with
day.
you. So you saying that man could do anything to you and still have
That's not what I'm
access to your
saying. That's
body?
not what
That's
I'm
what you're
saying. No,
saying
no,
right
no,
now,
no,
Chris.
no,
That's exactly what
no.
you're
That's not
saying.
what I'm saying.
That's
What I'm
exactly
saying,
what you're
no.
saying.
Well,
What
But
I'm
we
see, that's
saying
what
expect
the
is
scenario
no,
you giving. It
everything.
seems like just because he's
no.
getting up, it seems the scenario you giving just because he's getting up, going to work every day, whatever the case may be, provide whatever, and even if he make you upset or whatever like that, you still gonna just give it up and still just go
What
do
are you
whatever you
upset
saying.
about? We
If
got
something happens in my
When y'all
household,
ready, I'm gonna tell
if
you what I'm
something
saying.
no listen, if something happens in my household and we both mad at each other, stuff is not gonna be the same. It's gonna be tension in the
Hey, you
house.
got to touch me.
It's not gonna be happy and dandy, and you cannot touch me. I'm sorry, you will not be able to
Oh,
touch me.
Okay, so
You
mm-mm.
this
ain't
is
get
what
no
I'm
meals from me.
saying.
Go buy you something
This
to
is
eat.
what I'm
Go
saying.
go through a drive through.
This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. What I'm saying
You
is
just
that
that's what you said, Chris. That's what we
all right.
all
This is what
interpreted.
I'm saying. What I'm saying is that we expect things from men and men expect things from us. When you ask a man, what do you expect from your woman? He's gonna say, let's say the scenario is he expects her to show him affection when he wants affection shown, unless she's sick or her cycle on or something. Fine. He expects affection from her shown. He expects to have a clean house. He expects to have a cooked meal. This is what he expects. And what she respects from him in return is to be faithful, to provide, and to protect her. This is what we both expect from each other, right? What I'm saying is men have no reason to ever not come up on their end. You would never hear a woman say, well, no, he was really depressed, so he just couldn't work for a whole month. You know, he just most women won't say that. Or you won't hear a woman say, well, you know, his daddy wasn't in his life, so that's why he doesn't know how to communicate with women. So it's okay for him to disrespect me because he's just going. No, we don't want to hear that from men. We want men to do what men have to do, and we require it. And if they don't do it, we tell them, like Venetia said, go to the drive-through. But for some reason, as women, what I'm saying is, as women, we feel that things that we supply on a regular, when we feel like I'm not up to it tonight, I'm going through it. Oh, well, I'm not giving it to it. We think it's justifiable.
But that's not what she said, though. She said that if a man doesn't pay her bills, she's willing to pay her own bills.
One more example. Let me give one more example. Let's say you guys got into it, right? Y'all got into it Monday, right? And y'all kind of been feeling each other out. Now it's Friday. You know, he's lonely and he tries to be intimate, but you feel like he still ain't apologized for what he did, so you're not giving it up. No. You would think that's okay to do that. Now, let me explain the man's position. Let's say Monday y'all got into it, but then Friday someone broke into the house. You would not expect that man to say to you, well, you still ain't apologized for Monday, so go out there and go get the bat and go defend yourself. You're not going to expect that.
I will protect myself. I got me and Jesus. I would call the police. I'm not going to tolerate nothing from a man. I'm sorry. I tolerate it so much. I just sound crazy.
No, Christina,
if my man told me to roll over and go protect myself, he is no longer my man.
No, but
obviously not. He messed up.
Well, the man feels the same way. If we get into it on Monday and you don't want to give it up on Friday because of argument on Monday, you're not my woman no more.
Christina, wait, no. This is listen. Okay, let me tell you something, because I come from a relationship. Well, I was not married to a man, but I was giving it up to him on a regular basis. This was my very first sexual experience I had with this man. This man used to beat me, Christina. He used to beat me. So you telling me because I was having sex with him and because I had set these expectations that whenever he beat me, literally, that I'm supposed to just let him go and not apologize and not do nothing?
Let me explain that. Let me explain what you're doing. Let me explain what's happening right now. Let me explain. Hold on. I got to explain that because I don't want to sound like that's what I'm saying.
No, but wait, let me
finish. But let me address that one issue.
No, wait, no. Don't interject, because if you interject, you're going to miss what I'm saying.
All right, I'll let you finish and I'll go.
Let me finish. What I'm saying is that in our relationship, like I said, this is a spiritual experience that we're having. If this man has crossed my boundaries that I have set, he has to clear that before he can get back access to my inner world, before he can come and step back into my temple. There is no way that this is in the Bible. It says you have to touch and agree. If you're touching,
no. The scripture says you never withhold yourself from your partner. That's in the Bible. You never withhold yourself. Your body's not your body.
Christina, touching and agreeing is in the Bible. You should not be
no. Touching and agreeing is, but withholding yourself, withholding your body, you never do that from a married. When you're married,
we're not talking about being married here.
That's what I'm talking about.
But we're talking about relationships. You said that this person wants to.
No. I set the scenario up. No. I set the scenario up. I set it up. Check the replay. I set it up. I said married.
Being a wife. Even if I'm married, it doesn't matter. Even if I'm married, you're not going to cross my boundaries and enter my temple where you have not cleared the air. When you walk into a woman's temple, you bring gifts of abundance. You are kind to your wife. You are meek and mild and tender with her the same way you want her to be with you. You do not abuse your woman and then tell her to open your leg or open her legs to you just because you a husband. That is not how that works. I would never in my life have a man that don't do what he want to do, and he just disregard me as a woman, as a person, and I'm going to let him because he's my husband. Absolutely not.
That's not what I'm saying, Reese. This is what you're doing. So let me explain real quick. So you understand what you're doing. Hold on. Let me say something, and then y'all can go from there. When you talk about people that talk about pro-life, right? They talk about abortions, right? People say, no, I don't agree you should have an abortion because you're killing a baby, right? What people would do is they'll say, but what if she gets raped? You're taking the most extreme point and you're applying it to what I'm saying. First of all, I set the standard. I said you are married. Number one. Hold on, let me finish. Don't interject. Like you said, let me finish. Now, I'm not talking about a man that's beating on you. I'm not talking about a man who's choking you. I'm not talking about a man who's a cheater. I'm talking about a marriage. Hold on, let me finish. Because you went from You went from, all I said was y'all got into a argument, because what you said was he beat me. I'm not going that far. I'm saying you got into a argument on Monday, right? Now it's Friday. Y'all still ain't figured that situation out yet. Women, we still expect things from our men. This whole idea, he ain't got to protect me. He ain't got to pay nothing. I understand all that. But when you're married, I'm talking about married people, because y'all keep going back and forth. I'm talking about married. I'm going to say it again. When you are married, you are a family.
I'm not the kind of married woman. I never have been.
Okay, so I'm gonna talk from my standpoint, because maybe that's what it is. It's a different perspective. When you're married, it's no yours, mine, his, hers. It's one unit.
Yes, it is.
What I'm trying to say is,
body. Yes, it is.
Okay, so what I'm trying to say is that I expect my husband to do certain things, and I do not give a damn if we got in an argument Monday and Friday come, you going to switch it up because of Monday argument. I don't want to hear that. And he expects the same thing from me. I'm not talking about a man that beat you. I'm not talking about a man that choke you out. Because first of all, why are you with him then? If he's beating you, you shouldn't even be with him, let alone giving your body up to him. Why are you with him? If he's cheating on you with a billion women, you shouldn't be giving your body up. You shouldn't even be with him. If he's cursing you out and disrespecting you in public, why are you with him? So what we're doing is we're taking toxic relationships and we're trying to apply it to what I'm saying. No, I am talking about you're married, you're in a relationship, he expects things from you, you expect things from him. As women, we feel because we can do it ourselves. I protect myself. I pay my own bills. If he does something to me that I don't like Monday, an argument, not talking about beating. If he argues with me Monday, if he has not sufficiently to my standards have worked it out by Friday, do not come tap my shoulder. And I'm saying that is not healthy, because we do not expect that from men. If he's my husband, I don't give a darn if we got an argument Monday. You had better do what you got to do on Friday. If someone breaking this house, you better protect me. When them bills come up, you better pay them. When I'm sad and depressed, you better comfort me. All of that. Nothing changes.
No.
We work through it. That's my position.
To me, that's unhealthy. That to me is unhealthy. You're not working through your problems. If you're going to just sweep someone under the rug,
you work through them.
Chucking over it.
You work through them, but denying the person.
You said the issue has not been resolved, and you're just going to keep on moving on and let him have sex.
No. I didn't say moving on. No. That's not what I'm saying.
To me, that's unhealthy.
I said requirements. No.
Argument and it doesn't get resolved. And he come and tap you on your shoulder. You're supposed to say, okay, on Friday, this is my duty. So he didn't resolve the issue. So I'm just gonna give him some sex because he came and tapped me on my shoulder.
That's nothing to do with the issue. That's my point.
Hey, you know,
having sex or not having sex doesn't change the issue. That's my point. The only reason I'm not giving it to him is a punishment for him not resolving it, and that's unhealthy. You should be resolving it. You should be already resolving it in a better way, other than withholding sex. That's what I'm trying to say.
Withholding the sex has nothing to do with the resolution. I'm saying that until we meet a resolution, there's no energy there for sex. I'm not having sex with somebody who that I have unresolved issues with.
Preach.
Who you are?
I would not.
What?
I would not open these legs.
I don't care who you are,
baby.
Well, can I say something?
Yes, you can say something.
Because y'all so lit.
I love
right
all y'all
now.
though. I still love you, Reese and Vanessa.
Listen, we gonna come through with a mellow vibe. I think the issue at hand, what everyone is trying to get across is, long story short, you're not supposed to let the sun go down on your wrath. Especially. So what it means is you do have to work through the issue right away and very quickly, especially if
some issues don't happen right away.
Correct.
So but that's the
you still love the person. But it's not gonna happen right away.
You still love the person, but just because I'm still gonna love you doesn't mean I have to give up my sex. Because if I'm giving you my sex, that means I'm happy, I'm comfortable. Like I'm not
bingo. That goes back to what I said.
Right, just having sex with you, and everything is the issue is not solved. I don't care I don't care how many days you get up and go to work every morning and do what you got to do as a man. I don't care. At the end of the day, I have to feel comfortable within myself. So if I'm not comfortable, it's not gonna happen. I'm sorry.
But what if it's the issue? What if it's the issue that he can't fix?
Pretty much what you're saying, Christina, right now. What you're saying is just act like nothing happened. Just
No,
still,
that's not what
even
I'm
if y'all got
saying.
into that
What I'm
same
saying
night,
is sex
even
has
if y'all got into
nothing
that
to
same
do with.
even if y'all got into that same night, you still gonna give it up? No,
No,
it don't work like that.
I
what I'm saying
And it
is
could,
that
and the
what I'm
topic,
saying is
whatever the topic that y'all
intimacy.
got into, it could
What
be
I'm
real
saying is,
spicy.
who
It could be
said that?
real
Who said they
spicy.
giving it up? Who said it? Who said
That
it?
was me.
Spicy. The topic
Who
could be
said
real
it?
spicy. It could be real sensitive. It could be below the belt, and you still gonna you still will
Okay,
lay
see,
down
that's what
laying.
you guys are doing.
No,
You guys are finding the most
that's
horrendous
what you
things and
did though. You
applying to
started
it.
it
No,
though.
I'm
You
not.
opened that door.
No,
You
no, no, no,
opened
no,
that
no,
wait,
no, no,
wait,
door.
wait,
no. What
wait.
you guys
You opened that door,
you got
Chris.
what I'm all right, let me give an example. Let me give an example real quick. Let me give an example
Okay.
real quick,
Where
right?
are we drawing a line on this?
Let me give an example. So with my husband, right? I like him to give me compliments, right? And when he doesn't, especially if I get my hair done, I do something, I feel some kind of way. So Monday I get my hair done. I'm tired of telling him he needs to notice me when I get my hair done. So I'm not telling him because he should know. We already talked about this. So Monday I'm feeling some kind of way. Tuesday I'm feeling some kind of way. Matter of fact, on Wednesday he was watching a YouTube channel and it was a girl that had her hair different and he noticed that, but he didn't notice mine. But again, I'm like, dang, what I got to do for him to notice that, bro, I got my hair done. So now Thursday coming, I say, dang, bro, you really ain't noticed I got my hair done Monday. You know, I told you I like when you compliment me. I like when you tell me how I look, things like that. It makes me feel good about myself. And he's like,
Sorry
you know
for
what,
cutting
my
you
bad.
off. Sorry,
My
sorry, sorry. Why do you have? That's what I'm saying. Why do we have to have? Like, why does his opinion matter?
it's just
Because that's your
it's just
man.
an no, it's an example. I'm
Oh,
giving
okay,
an
okay, continue.
example of
Sorry.
I'm giving an example of you guys getting into it about something, right? Y'all
Oh,
argued
correct.
about
Mhm.
something. And when you say going to bed with wrath, I know what you mean, Empress, but it's not always wrath. You don't hate the person, you're not angry with the person, you don't wish nothing on them, but you guys just haven't figured out the issue that you guys are going through yet because he still feels his position is right. You still feel yours is right. What I'm saying is when you withhold intimacy, because that's what it is, it's intimacy. When you withhold intimacy because you guys have not quite figured it out yet, you're only putting more fuel on the fire. Believe it or not, that intimacy is what sometimes can help you to actually find healing. He can actually, and that's how men are operate. Him being intimate with you can actually sometimes make him realize, like, dang, man, this woman is so precious to me. And I know it seems weird, like, really, so me giving it up can make you do that. Yes, some men, a lot of men, that is how they express their love or how they feel about their woman is through intimacy. So
Okay,
what all I'm trying to say, this is all I'm trying to say, and I'll make it real short.
right?
All I'm trying to say is when you are married, that's all I'm trying to say, and I'll let y'all go. What I'm not saying is that the man is a horrible man that treats you like crap and y'all got into it and you just giving it up. I'm not saying that because if anyone know my husband, he knows he is far from that. Far from that. But we are not perfect. So there are times where we are going to have disagreements. But just because we have a disagreement, me withholding intimacy from him, I would never do that because he would never withhold intimacy from me. He would never not come for me if I'm going through it with my oldest daughter. We could have just got into it. But if something happened to my oldest daughter, he don't give a darn. He's going to run in there and hug me and hold me and show me that love. Well, men express the same way through intimacy. So when you get going through it or having disagreements to withhold yourself from him, I feel like you're only making it worse. Now, I'm not talking about a man that beats you, a man that's a serial cheater. We're not talking about that. I'm talking about just everyday things that you go through as a married couple
It
from
goes
living
the
together.
same. Whether it's extreme or not, it's still the same. You have to resolve your issues, like our sister said. You need to come to an agreement in order to touch me. We cannot be in a state of disorder or a state of disagreement and think that, okay, we have not resolved this issue, whatever it is, big or small. I don't care what we're arguing about. The issue is that we need to, like let's just say, for example, the example you gave with your husband with the compliments. Okay, you're not just coming to your husband about, oh, you didn't compliment me today. That's petty. What you're coming to your husband about is your confidence. And like you said, it makes me feel good about myself. You want your husband to do that for a deeper reason. And so let's just say you're laying in the bed at night, not feeling good about yourself, not feeling like your husband has noticed you. That goes into your womanhood. It goes into, do I feel beautiful? Do I feel wanted? Do I feel desired? I'm not opening my legs to a man if we have not talked about it. Like you said, intimacy is the cure, not sex. Intimacy is the cure. When I come to my husband, I'm going to say, listen, baby, I talked to you about this before. You said you didn't say anything to him. And to me, if you don't say anything to him, but you open your legs and have sex with him, to me, that's reinforcing the behavior. That's reinforcing him not noticing and not really giving the effort. But if you say, wait a minute, hold on, I'm not having sex with you right now, but I will have an intimate moment with you right now. I will come to you and I will lay down in the bed next to you. I might put on some feminine charm and I might say, baby, this is something that's on my heart and we need to talk about this so we can clear the air and then I will make love to you.
Amen.
But there is no way there's going to be a sexually intimate moment when we have not cleared the air and come to some kind of, okay, baby, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that. I really like your hair like this. Look, you're going to have to give me something. I'm not getting ready to just open my legs and just be like, oh, it's all good. Because like I said, to me, that reinforces the bad behavior if you will just dismiss it and let him, okay, well, maybe if I just sex him real quick, he'll notice me the next time. I don't think that that's how it's going to work out. And that's just how I look at it from a logical perspective. I'm saying if me and this man have something that's going on, big or small, come to me so we can talk about this thing. And I will say this about my relationship and I'll yield, is that when I have issues, me and him, both of us, either one of us, if I do something he don't like, that man is going to be like, Sharice, we need to talk. When I get off of work, I'm coming over there. Because we got to talk. I don't like this, what we got going on right now. I'm not arguing with you about it either. And we're going to talk. And the next thing you know, we make love because we don't talked about it. We don't had that intimate moment without the sex being involved. And then
sometimes holding back off the sex too. I'm sorry to cut you off, Sharice, but sometimes when you hold back too, also it brings y'all even closer when y'all do have sex, because at the end of the day, you've been missing him, and whatever the case may be. I just feel like, bring it back to the original topic, what she was saying. Yes, sometimes if stuff not right, I'm not gonna just go like my normal day and go like cook and have. I'm not doing that. I'm gonna hold back until we get the stuff resolved. And if it takes 2 or 3 days for it to get happen, that's just the way it is gonna be. Because I'm not gonna just open my legs up to you. I'm not gonna continue to do what I've been doing, because I want to show you that whatever we was arguing about really affected me. So if you really care about me, you will want to make sure that I'm okay and make sure that things are going to get back to the way it was, even better before than it even was before. So, it's just
no, I'm not trying to be rude real quick. No, Venetia, I understand what you guys are saying, and I appreciate your perspective and what you bring to the table. It's just we have some people up here that haven't spoken a long time. Between me, you, and Reese, we just been taking over the show. So let me let some of the people we've been going in. Let me let you guys speak. So unmute y'all mic out there. Alvin, there's a few people on here haven't spoken. So go ahead, y'all, open y'all mics and add to the conversation real quick. I know y'all out there.
Nobody else want to talk. They said it's a little fire in the kitchen. I don't want to talk,
but
it's
now. All love, and that's what it takes sometimes.
It
takes that sometimes. Sure. I still love them. They know I love them.
I know for a fact. Yeah, I think I agree with both perspectives, especially in a marriage. But I do know that whether or not you decide to have sex or not with your spouse, after a disagreement, rather, even after or before, right after or right before, the issue at hand should definitely be discussed, so that you can start working on that. You know what I mean? Like one sister said here, she spoke with her guy first about an issue at hand, or he wants to speak to her first and talk about certain things that bother you. And I think we got to get out of the habit of pushing stuff that's bothering you under the rug. I think certain things, whether you pray about it first or whatever, you need to address it right away, because believe it or not, miscommunication can ruin a relationship like tremendously. Mm-hmm. Like you said, we spoke about trying to see if a person is reading our minds and all of that, but at the end of the day, we can't assume they're reading our minds. And they can't assume we're reading their minds. You kind of gotta talk about what's something that's bothering you immediately before that person even tries to get intimate again. And I think what you'll see what their position is towards you, and then you can move forward from that. And this is just my personal experience. went to bed angry and ended up getting a divorce, you know,
Mm.
because he didn't want to talk about a certain situation. And it manifested into something greater than
Mm.
just to speak about it right away and get it handled. I do feel like if we spoke about certain things right away rather than waiting, you know, if things wouldn't have got that out of hand. You know what I'm saying? So I do agree that you must talk about things immediately before, um not necessarily making them wait or making a guy wait, but you definitely want to not sweep stuff under the rug and say, everything's all peachy. I make it seem like nothing's wrong right now. You definitely want to put that out on the table, but I wouldn't wait. I would definitely speak on things right away. As soon as it bothers me, I'm wearing my heart on my sleeve. I'm not coming in an aggressive or disrespectful manner, but I will speak up.
Yeah, no, I agree with everything that you said, and I want all you guys to know on the panel and even in the chat this Sunday. That's what we're going to be talking about. So I hope all you guys come. Reese, Venetia, all you guys come Sunday if you guys are free, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're actually going to be talking about this
Can you
particular
put the
topic
time
that we're
back to
talking
7?
about. Huh?
Can you put the time back to 7?
Girl, we cannot put your time to 7. You can just come at 7. We be going. Tell her Reese. We be going to about 8 o'clock.
We're gonna be over.
We'll be on there, girl. Trust me, okay? With all that noise in the background. Yeah,
Sorry.
so I think so this is what we're gonna do. What I want to do is we're gonna be talking about this on Sunday. So I hope everybody bring all their energy, the same energy y'all had, because I'm bringing mine. Y'all same point of views. I mean, you want to change it up to you. But I know we pretty much stand firm on how we feel, and I want y'all to bring that same energy on Sunday. With that being said, if anyone else have anything they want to add, any final statements, I'm not trying to make y'all drag here all night long. We already been on for over an hour and a half. So I want to know anyone that have any final statement. We can go through the list. Venetia, you want to just say your final words, anything that you want to just get out there for the people, and we'll just go through the list. Everybody get an opportunity to say what they need to say before we close out. You're still mute.
I mean, like I said before, like I feel like, um, well, first of all, I just want to say we did have a good conversation. And Prince, I love your train of thought, and Christina same as well. But I still stand on how I feel about the whole situation, especially when it comes to you know, um, arguments in a household, especially if we stay in the under the same roof as well. So I pretty much stand on what I said. Like it's not gonna change up. Like I'm gonna still say no, and you find your own way until we get back to what we was at once before. So that's just how I feel. I understand where you're coming from as a married woman, but at the end of the day, I'm not married. And I don't know, maybe I would have to be married to look at your point of view and understand more of where you're coming from. But me being a single person that I am, well, not single, but me being,
You're
well,
not
I say
single.
single, I'm not married. I mean, at the end of the day, you single till you married. I mean, that's how I feel because at the end of the day, if another guy likes you in a relationship and you feel another guy more, you might just want to date the other
We
guy.
about to do a podcast on that. Are
I
you
mean, that's how
single
I feel.
until you're married?
You single till you married. You single till you got a ring on it. That's how I feel because you
Where's
still
Reese? Why is Reese not here?
you still open to date and talk to who you want to talk to, but because you're not married, you're not tied down. So, like I said, that's just how I feel about that, and I'm real strong on it.
Okay, nah, I respect that. And that's why it's called Let's Talk in the first place. It's called Let's Talk because we're not going to agree all the time. It's just the reality of the situation because we
And
don't have the
I'm
same
not a hoe.
perspectives.
I'm not a hoe. I'm
Okay,
just
we don't think you, no one thought that. Nobody thought, nobody.
You
no,
Okay.
I'm
annoying.
not
You,
a hoe. I am
okay.
just saying.
Okay. So the person that keep coming in and off the mic, come on up here, girl. Give us your final statements. Let us know your position. Share with the people.
Who that is?
Me, Christina?
Yeah, you.
Okay, hi guys. Thank you so much for the invite. I'm glad that you guys, I did add a friend. Her name's Vina. I don't know if she's still there. You guys, Vina, are you here?
No, man, we lost like 2 people that didn't get a chance to speak. They was tired of us.
Oh, okay.
It was
Well,
like 2 people in the waiting room.
I'm glad that you guys are doing this podcast because they are females like me. I do have, like you said, like I'm not married and I'm still single, but I am in a relationship. So it's hard dealing with a lot of situations. Like I feel like maybe it's best for a woman not to live with a man until you are married because
Exactly.
you deal with so much home. You know, you deal with so much feelings, so much
Somebody on
anxiety.
FaceTime too.
If he ain't gonna
I'm
buy the
sorry.
cow, don't give him the milk. That's what Reese said.
Correct. So, you know, I enjoy speaking to other women to get a better point of view of things because sometimes you do want to give up, like, and then some days you like, okay, I do want this to work, but it's not easy. So, ladies, if you don't live with him, don't live with him. It's not that serious. It's
It's not.
n- it's
Right.
not that
Well,
serious,
make sure
and
you like and subscribe. Okay, I'm just putting that out there.
definitely, I'm new to this, so you got to tell me what I got to do.
Girl, I'm trying to get 1,000 subscribers by the end of
I
this month,
posted it on my
girl.
IG. I said woman
Thank
talk.
you.
I did, but I can't. I didn't tag nobody. So if you want to
What?
just send me all the stuff I got to tag and stuff, and we'll go from there. I'll
Okay,
be here on
girl.
Sunday.
Thank you, boo. 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Definitely. You
7.
guys have a blessed night. Be safe, okay?
Thank you, thank you.
Thanks.
Curry. Curry,
Bye.
you up. You want to add any final words? You want to put anything in about the conversation? Sister Curry. Look at her. She a mess. Look at her. She a mess. That's
That's
why
my
your man's so
girl.
mad. That's why he be bad all the time. Because of stuff
Yep.
like this.
Oh well.
Oh,
Oh
so
well.
Look at his
Brush
shoulder. Look at
your
his shoulder. Look at his shoulder.
shoulders.
No, cover it up.
Marry
Cover
me.
it up.
Marry me.
Cover it up. Cover it up. Okay, Curry not responding. So let's go to Empress. Empress, you want to put some final words in before we close it out? Girl, I know you there. That's what I'm hearing. A silent mic. That's it.
uh,
But before I close out, does anybody else have final words? I'm about to close it out. I'm gonna give my final piece. I'm gonna give my final words. But before I speak, I want to give everybody an opportunity. Did you enjoy the show, Venetia?
girl, yes, girl.
See, thank you. So you enjoyed it. Okay, we be doing
Yeah,
it over here, girl. We be doing it. Okay. So you got to definitely come back. And even if the thing is, what people have to understand is we may not agree on everything, but that's the point of the podcast. It's called Let's Talk. We got to really
yeah,
try to come together and find a way to just go through some of this stuff we're going through. We shouldn't have to be suffering alone. We shouldn't suffer in silence. It may be something you might point out that can help me, and it might be something I point out that may help you, but we won't know if we don't talk.
right.
Right. So
Yeah.
with that being said, I just close out my
But that's
final
your
word.
topic though. You're single until you married. That's how I
Yeah,
feel.
no, yeah. I think that'd be a good topic too, because I think some people disagree on that. Some people think, yeah, you are single until you marry. And then some other people may feel like, no, you in a relationship, so you're not single. Reese is back. So Reese, I didn't want to close out until you got to share all your information, because Venetia, this sister is bad. Let me tell you, and I ain't talking about bad, I'm talking about bad good. Okay. She got a lot for real. I'm telling you.
I appreciate that.
Share your stuff, girl, with the
Yes.
people, and give your final thoughts on everything we talked about, and then I'll do my closing statements and we'll be out.
Perfect. And thank you all for letting me be explosive as I am and still loving me because I feel strongly about stuff.
You
But
good.
yes, my podcast is called Entertain the Thought, where I talk about esoteric stuff. I talk about my spiritual journey and just the understandings that I've come to learn about universal knowledge and universal language. Just as I live my life, and it's very much raw me, just me opening up my perspective and sharing how my life has been going. So it's called Entertain the Thought. It is on Spotify. It usually is on any streaming platform that you have. You can search that or my name, Reese Roberts. And I wanted to give a suggestion for one of our next topics is maybe instead of us talking about some of the problems or issues in our relationships, I would like to talk about some of the things that we actually like about our men, because the man that I have now, that I'm an adult woman, that I am mature, and he and I are both equally yoked. The way it feels, we've been talking for about a year now, to be a year next month. And
Congratulations on the anniversary coming up.
thank you. The very first day I spoke to him was on Valentine's Day last year.
Oh yeah, so
And
that's around the corner.
yes, and
That's my
so
birthday.
Really? Okay. So I'm
Mhm.
gonna have to remember that. But one of the things I am starting to see is like, we get into this kind of pattern like we were talking about before. Maybe I'm the issue here. I started noticing that in my relationships before I evolved, I would get into a situation and the energy would start off hot and heavy and then it would trickle off like, ugh, I don't even like this man that much no more. But
Mhm.
in this situation, it's the opposite. We started off not really liking each other, but now we're growing closer and closer and closer together as time goes
Yeah.
on,
Yeah.
and it's like, oh, this is much different. And I want to start talking about the things that work in our relationships as adults, as women who are learning, once women who are doing the shadow work and who are healing and starting to really, mesh well in our relationships. Because Christina, like you said, you happy in your marriage. So we need to talk about, what is making you happy. Why are you happy with this
Okay,
man? Because
okay, okay, okay.
you
I
know,
see where you going with this, girl. I see where you
yeah.
going. I'm
Let's
liking
talk
it,
about the good stuff.
and I would okay. So we will definitely implement that on the
Hmm.
calendar. We will
Good, great,
definitely do
great,
that
great.
because I do have this Sunday. We already started with we already started putting some stuff out about this week, which is talking about basically, withholding intimacy. And when I say intimacy, I'm not just talking about
Hmm.
SEX. That
Hmm.
is
Hmm.
not just the only type of intimacy, just
Hmm.
withholding intimacy from your partner. Is it a bad thing? Or what are
Hmm.
the effects of holding intimacy? Uh,
Got you.
so that's
Yes,
what's coming up.
absolutely.
And then the week after that, me and BA was talking and we wanted to have a conversation about, raising children as a step parent.
Okay.
Because
Yeah.
he's definitely something that he's currently doing and has been doing for years, especially after his wife passed away. I don't want to give too much of his story away. I want to wait till, the following Sunday. But
Mhm.
yeah, he really wanted to tap in on that because he felt like he had a lot of stuff to offer to that. And he had a lot of advice to give to brothers out there and sisters out there who dating people with children. Because y'all know it's
Nice.
not easy to be with someone
At
with
all.
kids. So
At all.
he wanted to
And
share what he's going through and what he's learned and how to handle certain things as a step parent.
I
So
love
we're
it.
going to do that. So then, yes, what we can do is on that third Sunday, we can definitely do what you're talking about.
Mhm.
What got people to where they're at, like what you said, how you elevated to where you're at now, and how I'm
Mhm.
married and I'm happy. How do we get here? What are some
Mhm.
things that
What are we
we're
doing that's
doing?
working?
Yeah,
Hmm.
exactly. And we need to share it with people so that they can get the happiness, the growth, and
Agreed.
and the love that we're getting. We shouldn't be selfish and keep it to ourselves.
Okay.
We
We
gotta,
need to
yeah.
bottle it up and sell it, baby.
Exactly. So thank you for that advice. I appreciate that. Make sure y'all check her out. Entertain the thought. It's really good, man. I'm gonna tell you guys, if y'all think she's good now, go on Spotify. Trust me, I'm not exaggerating. Go on Spotify, check her out, and you'll see exactly why, I love her to be on my platform. You'll understand. With
Thank you
that
so
being
much.
said, the last words I want to say is this: is that the whole point of me doing this podcast was to get to see everybody's perspective, and in the end, to be able to somehow come together. Because when we live a life where we're always butting heads with the opposite sex or with the same sex or whatever the case may be, our children are what suffers in the end. Because
Hmm.
we're grown, we're gonna keep going. Like if
Hmm.
something happened, we keep going. But our children begin to pick up bad habits, begin to have trauma, depression. Even Venetia shared with us, well, she didn't have to share. Venetia shared when I was growing up, I saw my mom was going through, I saw how she did this, she did that, and she's carried it with her. So as the adults, I'm thinking that if we can just bring our perspectives together, though we may not agree, which y'all saw tonight, it was hot for a little bit. We may not disagree, right? I mean, we may not agree, but that doesn't mean that we can't talk. That doesn't mean that we can't come to an understanding. That doesn't mean that we can't come to a resolution. And not just that, other people listening may have the opportunity to see things on the other side that they didn't realize until they actually heard our podcast, Let's Talk Podcast. I just want to say I love all you guys on the panel, everyone who's coming into the replay and who's in now. Like, subscribe, share. I cannot do it without you guys. I'm trying to get 1,000 subscribers. I'm at 833. I'm trying to get 1,000 by the end of this month. I know it's kind of hard, it's tight, but I believe it's possible, especially with the
Hmm.
content that we've been pushing out every week, me and Reese and everyone else. And thank y'all again for coming out. I hope you guys continue to come. And whenever I have the feeling to just do this, I'm gonna send you guys links. And I hope, I know y'all got lives. I know Reese doing laundry and Venetia over there with her bonnet on ready to go to bed. You know, so I understand y'all got a life. But if y'all ever have time to just entertain me, like she said, entertain the thought. If y'all got time to entertain me, come on in. You always welcome. With that being said, thank you guys for coming to Let's Talk podcast, and I hope to meet again.
Peace, y'all.
All right,
Peace,
peace. Thank
y'all.
you for having me. Let's talk.
Yes.
And talk. I love y'all.
I like how she said, let's talk. I'm gonna make some shirts and hats, and y'all gonna have to start wearing y'all uniform, okay?
I know that's right, girl. You better brand that
You know what I
thing.
mean? Yes, I already started.